Hi, my name is Mary and I also go by the Healing Cave Lady, and today I'm going to show you how to do some deep breathing to nourish your nervous system. A lot of people don't understand correlation between the breath and anxiety hormones being dumped in the body, and I want to explain that super quick. We are not getting enough oxygen to our brain. What happens is our brain goes into a stressed state. Our brain assumes that we're in some type of danger, so that it has to switch on to a survival mode. And when it does that, it puts us in what is called flight or fight. And a lot of people, they hear it, but they really don't understand the severity of what that means. When your body is in flight or fight mode, in order to do superhuman things for the body, in order for it to just operate like normal, because it assumes something is gonna jump out at any given moment and it has to be ready for it. So when that happens, you automatically turn to a shallow style of breathing. It assumes that you're in stressed conditions, which could also mean that there might not be oxygen that needs to be there. So it needs to use kind of what it has. So what happens is we start breathing really, really shallow, or flight response and or stressed body system. So the reason it's so important to move yourself out of that state and to activate that parasympathetic nervous system, that part of your nervous system is basically where you are able to relax, you're able to digest, you're able to recycle neurotransmitters and produce hormones, things that your body should be doing on a daily or nightly basis. Those things cannot be done when you're in flight or fight mode. And what happens is if you are doing that shallow breathing during the day on a repetitive basis, it becomes a muscle memory for your lungs. So when you sleep at night, you're actually in flight or fight mode as well, and you're not able to produce the hormones that you need to do. Your digestive system is shut off, and you are getting a very, very shallow sleep because everything is gonna wake you up because your body is on heightened response. So the most important thing that we can do is understand that the breath is connected to the flight or fight response. So by shallow breathing, not getting enough oxygen everywhere we need in our body and our brain, we are doing our body a huge disservice, and it is the root cause of so much stress and so much anxiety. So by practicing deep breathing and specific types of breathing, we can turn off that fight or fight response and activate that parasympathetic nervous system so that we can be in a healing state. Our body doesn't heal in flight or fight. It is on edge. It's using stress hormones. And that's why people end up with adrenal fatigue and all kinds of issues like that. So let's look at a couple tips that we can do to activate that parasympathetic nervous system, to calm down and to nurture our nervous system. Time to eat, we can produce everything that our body needs to digest what we're eating. Our parasympathetic nervous system is activated, we're calm, we're relaxed. Our body says, okay, if you want to eat, I'll create the digestive enzymes and the stomach acid to break down that food that you're going to eat. So I'm going to show you a couple things that you can do. Is using essential oils. Two of my favorites can actually help with the brain function of activating the parasympathetic nervous system. But just stopping and smelling the roses, stopping and taking a deep breath is going to naturally activate that parasympathetic nervous system. Get the oxygen that your brain so badly needs to come out of fight or flight and to just relax. So I will have diffusers all throughout the house, and I'll make sure they're diffusing different oils, because then when you walk into a different environment, you stop and you take a deep breath. For the parasympathetic are blue Tansy, which is blue chamomile. I get them from Florahana. I have these available at my office. Lavender Vera, so that is just a lavender. And both of these are really relaxing to the nervous system and to the brain. And they tell the brain, hey, you can chill, you can relax. It just calms everything down, slows everything down. So those two are my favorite. Those are great nighttime oils, or oils that you can diffuse when you're doing this type of deep breathing, just to help parasympathetic response. The other thing is CBD. CBD naturally activates the parasympathetic. You'll notice after you take it, immediately within 5 minutes after taking at least CBD dissolve, this one works instantly. It works within minutes, as where a lot of CBD oils can take 5 minutes to activate. This is something that if you feel panic coming on, or if you just need to calm down, you can take it and it works instantaneously. I mean, within minutes. It has been known to stop panic attacks. So taking something like a water-soluble CBD, like CBD dissolve, works amazing to just calm the nervous system, activate that parasympathetic, and just immediately slows the breathing down. So let me show you a couple breathing exercises that you can do to help work on that diaphragm breathing, where you're getting the air, not only oxygenating the body and getting the air to the brain that it needs, but practicing the muscle memory of filling your diaphragm so that when you're sleeping, you get a deeper sleep at night because you're not in the fight or flight mode, low oxygen situation at night. And that is what causes people to go on CPAP machines. Not so much, it's not always diet, it's not always being overweight. A lot of times it's they're constantly shallow breathing to the point where their brain is in distress. And then they have to have forced oxygen at night. And that's the last thing you want to have to worry about, is being on some kind of CPAP machine, when you can practice intentional breathing. So let's practice some intentional breathing. And I'm going to start off by showing you something I call square breathing. And if I were going to practice it, I would start for like 4 or 5 seconds and try to extend it the more I go. What you're going to do is be breathing in a square in a way that you're going to be taking in oxygen, holding oxygen, breathing out the oxygen, and holding. Breathing in and then the holding makes it so you're getting all that oxygen in, and then holding holds the diaphragm, so it expands the diaphragm for a longer period of time for absorption and to help practice stretching out that part of the lungs. So the lungs are the most cleansing organ in the body. If you're not breathing deep into the lungs, there are toxins, there are things in there that need to get moved around and get pushed out. So by holding the oxygen there, you're stretching out that area so that when you are sleeping at night, your body is going to automatically, muscle memory, expand that part of the diaphragm more and more and more. So you're going to be detoxing the lungs at night and during the day and locking in the oxygen. So you're going to breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold in a square. And by moving your hands, it's just reminding you where you're at. So say we're going to do 5 seconds. We're going to breathe in for 5. So you could be counting to yourself, breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is something that Navy SEALs do before they're going to do something really, really intense to calm their nervous system so they don't make rash decisions and they're able to keep calm headed. And by practicing this a few times a day, I a lot of times like to have my clients do it 3 times a day, before breakfast, before lunch, and before bed. It's a good way to practice really expanding that diaphragm and taking time out during the day to nurture your nervous system. Hand on your diaphragm, that low belly area, and really feel yourself push the air down. You can take the air in and literally, with your mind, push that air down into your belly, so you're really expanding the air in your belly. So we'll just practice it together once. We'll go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready? Let's go. And trust me, if you are not deep breathing, you are holding on to toxins in those lower regions of the lungs that are not moving out, and they can cause all kinds of damage, including cancer down the road. You do not want to do that. Nurture your lungs, nurture your nervous system. So the next deep breathing technique I'm going to show you. So you would be putting your feet up a wall. 2, you can use a block behind your head. I just have a yoga block here set up. And the goal is to, 1, get in a place where you're filling your belly up. So take a couple practice breaths and just fill your belly up. Ready? Just to tilt the pelvis up a little bit. And then you have more room to expand front and back. So if you tilt the pelvis like you're going to do a crunch, get the back up so you can put your hand under your back if you need to here. Tilt that pelvis up. Deep breath in and fill up that lower area. Okay, so do a couple practice breaths. And then we're going to do what I call a crunch breath. So we put our hands over our head and we're going to do a crunch. But when we do it, we're going to deflate the balloon. Ready, set, go. Breathe in. Take a couple breaths in between, making sure you're filling up the diaphragm. And do it again. Ready? Take it in. Blow it out like a balloon. The arms just remind you to take a full deep breath in. It also adjusts your spine at the same time. It gets air and movement up and down the spine to nourish your nervous system. And you should be gasping at the end there. You want to squeeze out all the air that's in there so that when you take that inhalation, the next inhalation, all fresh, clean air. And the same thing, you can practice that for a minute. So a minute of the square breathing and then a minute of the crunch breathing. And if you just practice that as many times as you can during the day, if you're especially feeling stressed, you could make yourself a little roller ball with your essential oils. I have diffusers going back here. You can make a little meditation area in your house. Move floors, I can leave a yoga mat out. I can have my oils set up in a corner with a little Himalayan salt lamp. Practice that works for you. I'm just showing you 2 options that are specifically designed to help with the expansion of the diaphragm and retaining the oxygen and to exercise the diaphragm so that you are working that muscle and you're able to expand it away so that when you are sleeping at night, you get that same deep oxygenated air during the day. So the more you practice, the more you're going to come out of fight or flight, the better your digestion is going to be, the better you'll even notice things like your skin clearing up, because a lot of toxicity is held in the lungs. It gets trapped in the lymphatic system and ends up getting stuck in the skin. Breathing along with water intake are 2 life changers that doctors just are not talking about, and we need to constantly be on top of it. Make it something that you incorporate into your day. Do it every morning when you get up in the morning. Do it before bed. Do it in front of your kids. Do it with your kids. Teach them to nourish their nervous system so they don't end up in a stress pattern that ends them up on a CPAP machine and on other heart medications or antidepressants. So many of these things can be prevented and or healed with just oxygen. So thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day and stay healthy.
Miss Mary Darnell is with me. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
You are all about the natural. Yes. Because too many people are turning to medications right there, right to start, but you don't need to.
You don't need to. Yeah, you got to figure out what's going on in the body and how to help it run the way that it was meant to run. So that's kind of what I'm here to talk about today.
And so all about stress relief.
All about stress relief. You know, the holiday season is so stressful, and it's like we have our day-to-day stuff, but then we have parties and pageants and everything else that we have on our schedule, and it's like, wait a second, how can we do all of this and still not be stressed? And it's like the time of year that basically the most nervous breakdowns and panic attacks happen.
Which is crazy because it is the most wonderful time.
It's supposed to be happy.
Yes.
So things that you can do to chill out your nervous system. A lot of people don't realize that they kind of run in fight or flight mode 24/7. You know, they don't take deep breaths. They're running from here to there, and they're not taking time and chilling out or what they need to do to chill out. So I've got a couple tricks here that help you activate that parasympathetic nervous system and just calm down to keep you from having those meltdowns during the holiday season.
And so first off, you say the deep breath, but there is a proper way to do it?
There is a proper way to do it.
Okay.
So the proper way to do a deep breath, so show me your deep breath really quickly. Okay, so, and that's why I have people come in my office and show me a deep breath. I'm like, you're wrong. So a lot of people fill up this part of, you know, the chest, you know, and that's actually more of a stress breath. A good trick to know if you're doing a good deep breath correctly is to force a yawn.